Good morning, students. So we are back again with the topic quantity estimation and surveying, some important definitions. So today we will discuss about contingencies. What are the contingency charges which have been applied for estimation? So contingencies are it indicates incidental expenses of miscellaneous characters which cannot be classified under any distinct item subhead yet to pertain to the whole to the work as a whole. Uh, Basically, the contingency charges are the expenses which we cannot mention in the detailed project or report or detailed estimate. So, in a whole, we just fix an amount or a percentage of amount of total construction work so that we can bear the small expenses on site during construction. In an estimate, a certain amount in the form of contingencies of 3 to 5% of estimated cost is provided to allow for the expenses for miscellaneous petty items, which do not fall under any subhead or of item of work. So, as we have discussed, it is an estimate or the amount which is fixed into the percentage of amount that is from 2 to 5, 3 to 5% of estimated cost, and it is provided to allow expenses for miscellaneous petty items which have been not mentioned in the detailed estimate. So, contingency charges we just put in the detailed project estimated cost with 3 to 5%, and we just bear the PT items which have been used or which have been needed at the time of construction work on site. Likely, work charge establishment is also a charge which is also mentioned or fined for the construction work or building any project. So, what basically work charge establishment is? It is the establishment which is charged directly during the construction of a building or a project. A certain number of work supervisors, chowkidar, munsi, etc. are required to be employed, and their salaries are paid from the amount of work charge establishment provided in the estimate. Basically, when we start any work or any project in the site, we need many workers other than labor and mistri and all carpenters like. But we also need some supervisors, chowkidars, munsis, etc. for the work extra which is done on the site or on in the site office. So their salaries also have to be paid during the construction work. So where we will pay the salaries of these laborers or these workmen. So we need a amount or a fund for which we can pay their salaries directly. So work charge establishment is taken from the estimated cost for their salaries. Work charge establishment, a percentage of 1.5 to 2% of estimated cost is included in the estimate. Likely contingencies, as we take contingency charges as 3 to 5%, work charge establishment charges are also taken as 1.5 to 2% of the estimated cost in the estimate. So it will help us for paying the salaries of the workmen present over sites for different types of works. The next definition in or we can say the tool and plant charges or also likely work charge establishment and contingencies. Tool and plant charges are also fine as for big work or project a percentage of 1 to 1.5% of estimated cost is provided in the estimate for the purchase of tools and plants which will be required for execution of the work. As we know, the tool and plant are also required for constructions, but if we don't have any amount for purchasing them, then we will not able to do that work. So the estimated in the estimated cost, we just take a part of 1 to 1.5% of that cost for tool and plant purchasing for smooth and easy working of that construction. Likely, we also need some amount for electrification, sanitary, and water supply works. So, in the building work for internal electrification, sanitary, and water supply work, a percentage of about 20% of estimated cost of building will be provided for different types of works or following types of works. The first is sanitary and water supply works needs 8% of estimated cost of the building. As we all know, when we construct a building, we need uh, some components for water supply like pipes, fittings, and different types of PVC pipes and all that. So these are also to be purchased during that construction period. So we just take amount of 8% something for at the estimated cost for these water supply work and sanitary work. Likely, the electrification needs 8% of estimated cost of building work. So, if we, as we all know, for electrification, we also need some PVC pipes for underground electrification lines and many junction box and switch boxes and different types of electrification components are required. So, all these components are required at the time of construction or at the time of uh, uh, mm, fittings. So we need them at that time. So for that we need a amount, and these amounts are divided further into different amounts for that work. So electrification needs 8% something cost for estimated cost of the building work. And the third one is electric fans, which needs 4% of estimated cost of the building work. For that, electric fans and bulbs, tube light, and all that electric equipment which will be needed at the time of construction or for the construction. So, if 4% of estimated cost is mentioned for that, so we can just put the amount for that work at the time of construction. So, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. And if you have any doubt or anything, you can just comment below. And thank you all very much for listening. And stay tuned and keep learning.